Welcome, Sagittarius. I'm very happy to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. This is going to be a reading that it's going to be a timeless reading that just kind of looks at who you are. It's kind of a broad question, isn't it? I've created a spread for this reading. Just thought it'd be interesting to get to know you, since this is a relatively new channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with these archetype cards by Kim Kranz, Wild Unknown Archetype cards. And I'm going to use one of these in the centre of the spread to kind of see who you are at your core and sort of provide the overall energy of the read. And then we're going to pull some tarot cards to look at your past accomplishments that you can be proud of, your greatest skills or talents, how you can harness your skills and talents, where your skills and talents might take you, and then up here we're going to have kind of a message from Spirit to finish. I mean, it's all messages from Spirit, but it'll make sense when we come to it, I think. These are probably just going to be like overarching messages kind of for your life, whereas this might come out as a more sort of immediate message for you, I think. But we will see how it goes. Yeah, so let's start with getting you one of these archetype cards. Thank you, by the way, to everyone who has shared, subscribed and liked various videos and whatnot on my channel so far. I very much appreciate your support. It matters to me as a reader, but also it helps get the messages out to those who might need to hear them. So yeah, please continue to do all that if you are liking the readings, if you are resonating with the readings, if you appreciate my energy, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please feel free to do so. It will just help me pick up on your energy as well for the kind of monthly horoscope, taroscope readings. Right, Sagittarius. Who is Sagittarius? Okay, Sagittarius, we've got you some cards. Right, let's start at the beginning. Let's start at core you, and we can't see all the cards. Core you and kind of the overall energy of the reading. Let me hold these cards up for you. You've got the Riddle and Apocalypsis. Very interesting cards to open with, I've got to say. Apocalypsis is about lifting the veil and making the unknown known. Okay. And the riddle, interestingly enough, is kind of about accepting the unknown, accepting the limitations of your own knowledge, accepting the limitations of like your own thinking ability, your own logic to be able to find answers, accepting when you don't have the answers, accepting perhaps when the answers are just unknowable, at least for now. Yeah. You've got no swords in your reading at all. For the first, or I haven't clarified anything yet, but so far no swords have come out, which is interesting alongside the riddle card, because swords is about logic, rational thinking, and applying that sort of mindset to problems. But I see here with the riddle card for you that you accept the limitations of that. And I'm a Virgo, so that feels pretty cool to me. Yeah. You're a fire sign. You've got a lot of wands in your reading. 3 wands down this side, and you can see the fire as well in this card. So this card does have a bit of a burn it all down and start again feel to it, I will say, as well. So I do feel that you're a very passionate person with all the fire that's in this reading, but you're compassionate as well. I am just starting to look at the tarot cards when I'm speaking about this, because you've got the Ace of Cups here as well. So yeah, I do see you as someone who's very passionate, compassionate, and compassionate with people who don't share your worldview. I think you see a lot. I think you see a lot, especially with this apocalypse, this kind of lifting of the veil card. Really feels like you see things in a way that a lot of other people don't. And I wonder really if there's a role for you in kind of bringing that knowledge to other people, but in a very, very compassionate way, in a way where you recognise what they're ready to hear and what they're not ready to hear, if that makes sense. Yeah. In a very loving way as well. I'm really drawn to the hands on this riddle card. I get the feeling from this that you're good at working with other people to solve problems, riddles. Yeah, it feels like you're really good at teamwork. The snake skin here is interesting as well. I feel like you've given birth to yourself lots of times in this lifetime. It feels like a weird thing to say, but I mean, you've got two Wands Court cards have come out as well. They come out for the same in the same placement, and they contain the imagery of the snake. It's a similar art because it's this same. Kim Kwan has done both decks. You've also got snakeskin on the back of the Ace of Cups here, so I feel like you've had to shed who you are, like time and time again in your life. Do I want to say reinvent yourself? Not really. It's not really about reinventing yourself as such, although I think it does involve not having a huge attachment to any one particular identity, but it just feels like unearthing who you are, like time and time again in your life. That's what it feels like. I feel like many of you probably have quite an awareness of who you might have been in a past life, or what you might have done in a past life, or it's certainly something that interests you anyway. Yeah. So as we're talking about the past, let's start with the tarot cards, because this is about past accomplishments to be proud of. I will pull some clarifiers on this actually, but I do feel like you're a very compassionate person, very warm person. Yeah. I suspect a lot of you are kind of the mindset that everybody is psychic, and you're kind of aware of your own psychic abilities. Just with these cards, but you're quite grounded about it as well. I sort of, when it comes to this spread, I sort of read them in threes. Well, it's ended up being a four because you've got two for your centre card, but yeah, you're grounded with it, but you recognise your own abilities. Let's pull some clarifiers on this Ace of Cups to get a bit more clarity on past accomplishments that you can be proud of. Past accomplishments can Sagittarius be proud of? What past accomplishments can Sagittarius be proud of? You see, even my snake printout from my rune cards wants to make its way into this reading. There's a lot of snake imagery in this reading. I don't see that as a bad thing at all. I just see it as representative of, like I say, shedding of skin and transformation. Kind of a rebirth. Okay, past accomplishments. Thank you. Oh my gosh. The Ace of Cups has come out to clarify the Ace of Cups. It's come out in reverse. I'm getting a lot of repeat cards in my readings at the moment. A lot. Okay, so do you know what this feels like to me? This feels like you are getting... you have a connection with Source, or you might want to call it the universe or God, to fill your cup. But in the past that's not been there for you, and I actually sense that the people who should have filled your cup when you were younger, who should have had overflowing cups themselves in order to fill your cup when they were younger, I feel that their cup was drained. Or this could relate to any other type of past relationship, not necessarily like those who brought you up, but past romantic relationships as well. It feels like you were in relationships with people whose own cup wasn't full from Source, God, universe, however you want to put it. I mean, this could even point really to me to involvement with a narcissist. Someone who takes and takes from you because they're empty themselves. So in terms of past accomplishments, it feels like you've, in some cases, maybe cut ties with the person who's done that to you. In some cases, just overcome the what was missing in that relationship and gone on successfully to be able to fill your own cup, even though kind of no one modelled that to you, if you know what I mean. And I'm also very drawn to the lotus flowers here in the Ace of Cups, in the Radiant Wise Spirit deck, which somehow I don't think I've ever been drawn to before. And lotus flowers, the symbolism of lotus flowers too is about experiencing difficult circumstances but then thriving. Yeah. Okay, Sagittarius, what more can you tell me about this Ace of Cups for Sagittarius, please? The Empress. Yeah. See, again, that could point to parental figures in your life not necessarily giving you that Ace of Cups that they should have done, but you've turned it round. You've turned it round. One more card on this Ace of Cups, please, for Sagittarius. One more card on this Ace of Cups for Sagittarius, please. One more card on this Ace of Cups. Okay, we'll have two. That's okay. Thank you. Ace. Oh my word. Sorry, it's just the Ace of Pentacles is on the bottom of the deck. You can see me badly holding it. The Ace of Wands has come out to clarify, and you've got two Aces of Cups. Okay, that's a lot of aces. Ace of Wands in reverse again. Another reversal with the Ace. I just feel like you didn't have the best start, and you've overcome that. That's what you've overcome in your past here in this spread. Not having the kind of nourishment, emotional nourishment that you deserved when you were younger. and Ace of Wands, the Wands is about creativity and passion, and it's just like, it feels that no one encouraged your creativity and your passion too much when you were younger. So you've sort of become your own empress, you've like become your own parent in a sense. And again, the King of Cups reversed is someone who's emotionally cut off. So this could represent a parent figure or a past relationship. You know, again, the King of Cups does feel quite potentially narcissistic as well. So yeah, I feel like you've overcome these sorts of issues either from a very young age as a child growing up, or in relationships, or of course potentially both, because once you've set that program in childhood, it repeats in your relationships. Yeah. The Ace of Pentacles was upright though, so it now feels like you take what opportunities come to you and you feel like you deserve them in a way that you didn't previously. So I really feel like that answers the question of what you've overcome in your past there. Yeah. Right. Greatest skills or talents. What have we got here for you, Sagittarius? Four of Pentacles. Do you know what I'm getting here is a feel the fear and do it anyway vibe. That's what I'm getting. Because the Four of Pentacles can be about, particularly in this deck, for me, can be about staying in your comfort zone. I feel like you've become very good at letting go of limiting beliefs. Many of your skills and talents though, I mean, it's been quite spiritual so far, hasn't it? But I do think many of your skills and talents relate to quite practical matters, with Pentacles coming out in this spot. Like building strong foundations. Like this could be quite literal for some of you. Like you could actually be an engineer or a builder or an architect or something like that. What's coming through is about building strong foundations. But it could relate to any sort of practice that helps you build strong foundations within yourself, even something like yoga. This could be a skill or a talent that's here represented by this card. Yeah, let's get some more clarification on this Four of Pentacles. And then I've got to go and cook tea. Speaking of practical matters, why did I think of that? Some of you could be really good at cooking. Some of you could actually be chefs. Providing nourishment. What could be more practical than that? Tell me more. The world. Nice. Tell me more about this Four of Pentacles for Sagittarius, please. Tell me more about this Four of Pentacles for Sagittarius, please. Tell me more about this Four of Pentacles, please. Tell me more about this Four of Pentacles for Sagittarius, please. Thank you. You've had the Four of Cups come out. More fours. I mean, the Four of Cups is about disappointment. But again, you've got a four. It feels like it's about stability. And then the Knight of Cups came out. He came out in reverse. Wow, okay. Like, you might have experienced quite a lot of rejection of your skills and talents by others, which does go back to what I was saying with this Ace of Wands reversed here. Really, other people not recognising your creativity, your skills. Just with the Knight of Cups and the Four of Cups in reverse here. The Knight of Cups feels like other people's energies that you've come up against in your life. But it hasn't stopped you. Yeah, at times you might have felt really down about it, but I feel like you found it within yourself to not depend on the recognition of others. The World. I find such a sense of freedom in this card. You could be very good at languages. I do feel like you could be very good at languages. And you're so grounded with this Four of Pentacles card here that you have a solid base from which to travel as well. So your skills and talents may have brought you many opportunities to travel. It does feel like you might be in a profession where you do get rejected a lot though, with these two cards coming out. So it does feel like actually you might be pursuing a career like in acting or singing or something like that. You know, where the type of career where you really have to be very thick-skinned with regards to people not wanting you for the role. I'm immediately thinking of acting and singing and that sort of thing, modelling, that sort of thing, yeah. But I feel that you have a great confidence in yourself and you recognise that it's not, when people reject you, it's not about you, it's about them and, you know, what they had in mind for the role and all that. It's just a mismatch, it's not a personal thing against you. Yeah. But it can feel draining at times. We've got all these cups and they're all upside down, which does speak of feeling drained at times by it, which is totally understandable, isn't it? But and you have to let yourself feel those feelings, but it's about coming back to this grounded state and then once again feeling able to push yourself out of your comfort zone here. So let's move on to here, which is how can you harness your skills and talents? Wow, yeah. Good question. I have to laugh that the Son of Wands in reverse has come out in this pile. It's one of those situations where you say to the tarot, so how can I harness my skills and talents? And then the answer comes back as, yeah, you really need to harness your skills and talents. Because that's kind of what this card is saying to me. It's like, yeah, wow, you've got all this energy, all this passion, all this creativity. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? So we'll definitely be getting some clarification here. And you know, you've had two Wands Court cards coming out, the Page and the Knight. So the Page is kind of, well, it's called the Daughter in this deck, but it's the equivalent of the Page, and this is called the Sun in this deck, but it's the equivalent of the Knight. So kind of the Daughter is sort of the youngest court card in the deck, kind of like the child. There's a real curiosity here. So with that coming out upright, I think it's saying hang on to that curiosity. Like, use that curiosity to drive you forward. Stay curious, always, Sagittarius. It's such a, I don't know, it just, I think gives you so much. Well, that's, as I said about you being a compassionate person, I think that's underneath compassion for a lot of people, and that's probably underneath your compassion, is curiosity. Curiosity in other people. Curiosity sort of feels like the opposite of judgment, doesn't it? And I'm not going to sit here and tell you judgment's wrong and all that, because that's not how it works. Everyone judges every single day. You wouldn't stay alive if you didn't. But yeah, stay curious. I think it's like a case of saying, well, what happens if I went for this? What happens if I went for this opportunity? What happens if I took this opportunity? And being curious about the outcome and not attaching too much to the outcome, not letting the outcome dictate your own self-worth. Yeah, let's pull some clarifiers though, because I'll be honest. The Son of Wands reversed, yeah. What do you do with the Son of Wands reversed? from a personal perspective, like, this card stalked me, you know, myself personally for a long time, and I you know, I am at the stage of working with the cards where I'm like, I know that sometimes the messages that come through for people I'm doing readings for are also meant for me. There's no denying that. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. And I've got a lot of Sagittarius in my chart. And the Son of Wands does stalk me, and he's often in reverse, and I think it is about focusing. So probably you have a vast array of talents, I'm going to say, and a vast amount of passion, and focusing in on one sometimes can be quite difficult. You're the type of person who, if you crochet or knit, you've probably got 20 different blankets on the go. Yeah, let's clarify the Son of Wands. Let's clarify the Son of Wands. Thank you. The Nine of Swords. So yeah, sometimes you feel like you're missing out because if you're taking one talent forward, then you're not using the other talents, and then it's like, but what am I missing out on if I went down that avenue? That's because the Nine of Swords is that kind of energy of anxiety, like feeling like you're not meeting your potential. There's a feeling here of not meeting your potential, and of course that's going to bring you anxiety. But in terms of harnessing them, I think the answer does lie with the Daughter of Wands, and I think being curious is a big part of it. But let's get some further clarification. Around the question of how to harness your skills and talents. Three of Wands. There's a lot of wands in this reading. It is about taking action. So I think sometimes you get analysis paralysis. Yeah. So I think the message here is sometimes just do it. It kind of feels a bit fool energy to me, actually. Just do it. Just do the thing sometimes. Like, doing something's better than doing nothing, I guess. It's never wrong. It's never the wrong thing. That's what I'm feeling for you. More clarification on this Son of Wands, please. More clarification on this Son of Wands for Sagittarius, please. More clarification on how Sagittarius can harness their talents. Whoop! Okay. Ten of Swords in reverse. I think that points again to your overthinking. And again, it feels like an analysis paralysis. He's not doing any moving there, is he? He's pinned down by his own thoughts. Yeah. Tell me more about how Sagittarius can harness their skills and talents, please. Tell me more about how Sagittarius can harness their skills and talents. Thank you. That jumped out. Two of Swords. Okay. Again, this feels like analysis paralysis. What can I say? It's a stalemate with your own self. I will say though, the Two of Swords comes out often when there's information that you're not seeing. You can see that this person's blindfolded. So I'm going to ask what you're not seeing. What you're not seeing that you could see that would help you with your skills and talents. What's behind the blindfold for Sagittarius? What's behind the blindfold for Sagittarius? What's behind the blindfold for Sagittarius, please? Nine of Pentacles. What's behind the blindfold for Sagittarius, please? 2 9s. 3 9s, you're kidding me. What's behind your blindfold? 3 9s. You might want to Google 999 as an angel number and see if anything in that speaks to you. In fact, you've got the 9 of Swords out as well. Holy moly. Okay. Oh, right, okay. So sometimes you get like 90% of the way towards what you're doing and then you quit, or you really feel like quitting. Yeah, it feels like that's what happens with a lot of the kind of projects that you take on. You get so far to near completion and then maybe you don't quite complete it. I think that's what this is all about with all these 9s. So what's behind the blindfold? What's behind your blindfold, Sagittarius? What's behind that blindfold is that last bit of energy that you need to complete a task. So it's not exactly what you want seeing in yourself, it's, oh yeah, it's what you're not bringing forward in yourself. Wow. I'm just going to actually look up the meanings of 9s and see if there's anything that I've missed. 9s, nearing the end, the final stage, attainment, summing up before the completion of a cycle. Yeah. Preparation for transition, dreams. I've just realised. Your advice from Spirit is the Hermit, number 9. We've got all the tarot 9s out, that's for sure. Dreams, bringing matters to a close. Creative energy, compassion, wisdom, understanding. Can also be about long distance travel, which I said about before with the world. Wow. Well, you know, it's quite common, isn't it? Quite understandable. That final thing, that bit of, that final hurdle, you have it's a difficulty getting over that final hurdle, I think. So harnessing your skills and talents. I mean, definitely with the 9 of Wands there is a message about pacing yourself as well, and with the Pentacles as well, about perseverance isn't the word I'm looking for. Stamina. I think it's the word I'm looking for. It's a case of yeah, finding that final bit of strength. Crazy. Okay, let's move on to where might your talents and skills take you. 6 of Wands, more wands. Let me show you the card. This again speaks to me of transformation. You know, the same way that a snake sheds its skin, the butterfly comes out of its chrysalis and transforms. So it feels like you're kind of this transformative force in the world. Like, you're not afraid of change. I mean, okay, it's human to be afraid of change, and everyone is to a certain extent, but it feels like your skills and talents take you towards a role where you're some sort of change maker. Like, people are actually employed, aren't they, to manage change? Like, you bring people into companies or local authorities or whatever for the role of change management. I can see that this would be where you could end up working if you so, you know, if that's the type of environment you wanted to work in. I could see you doing that. And having a real strong vision along with that as well. Which does tie back into kind of the other more creative professions I was sort of talking about over here with kind of acting and music, and you know, you might even have more of a writing role within those industries. It feels like you could really have a vision. Something that involves kind of having a vision and like sharing it with other people. So yeah, like writing, fiction, you know, having that vision in your head and sharing it. But obviously it doesn't have to be something like as grand as that. You know, this doesn't have to be pertinent to career, it can just be pertinent to your personal happiness. So, you know, maybe painting, something like that. Let's get some more cards to clarify what the Six of Wands is telling us in terms of where your talents might take you. The Chariot. Oh, that's nice. I'm glad to see the Chariot kind of after all these nines, and where I said about struggling with completion, because I feel like, yeah, your willpower can like help you there. Cats. Further clarification on the Six of Wands, please. Where can Sagittarius' skills and talents take them? Where can Sagittarius' skills and talents take them? Thank you. Oh, the Hermit's come out again. The Hermit's come out in reverse. Just because there wasn't already enough nines in this spread for you. All the nines. I mean, the Hermit's very healing energy as well. Six of Wands. Some more clarification on the Six of Wands, please, for Sagittarius. More clarification on the Six of Wands, please, for Sagittarius. Thank you. So you've got the King of Swords as well that came out. He came out in reverse. I'll show you him upright. So in terms of where your skills and talents might take you, I can kind of see you being a leader, actually. It doesn't feel like you would shy away from leading in a situation with the Chariot and the King of Swords here. I think there probably is a bit of a message to watch out with the King of Swords, the way he's come out in reverse. Just to kind of make sure you are kind of, thank you Betty, kind of listening. Oh, you're knocking my cards all over the shop. Just Yeah, just maybe a bit of a reminder to kind of let other people feed into the kind of process of coming up with a vision, if you know what I mean. Yeah, if the stuff I said about kind of being a visionary and you know, having a vision and kind of turning that into something, just like working with other people to take their ideas into account as well, not being too forceful with your own. There's a slight warning about kind of tunnel vision here for me. Yeah, sorry, like there has to be shade to the light, else it doesn't reflect life, does it? It has to reflect life, and none of us are perfect. Well, I'm certainly not. Because Hermit in reverse can be quite a solitary energy as well, and it may be that you simply decide you would rather work alone, which is what it is. There's nothing wrong with that, but if you are in like a teamwork situation, I would say just be mindful of tunnel vision, it feels like here, yeah. Okay, so let's move on, I think, to the final cards. What do your spirit guides want you to know? Five of Pentacles in reverse and the Hermit. Yeah. Oops. So Five of Pentacles in reverse, it feels like you're kind of moving on from that or you've harnessed that Five of Pentacles energy, and it kind of goes back to what we were saying at the beginning of the reading for me. Gosh, my cards are a mess, Betty, now. Which is about like, because it's quite a sense of loss and scarcity actually with the Five of Pentacles here. So we spoke about that at the beginning, that sense of scarcity and not getting what you need from the people around you. But it feels like you've kind of overcome that, I would say, and done a certain amount of healing, because the Hermit for me is about healing as well. But the Hermit here there's also a message here about, you know what we were saying at the beginning about like accepting that there's certain things you don't know, and kind of not necessarily, and sort of being comfortable sat in the unknown and not actually trying to use this King of Swords type energy, and he has come out in reverse, to answer things that are probably unanswerable, if you know what I mean, because there's a lot of mysteries in this world, right? The riddle mysteries, there's a lot of mysteries in this world, and I feel like you're really like accepting that here with the Hermit, because the light on the back of the Hermit here, it only illuminates so much of the path, and to illuminate the next bit of the path you have to take action forward, you have to move forward. So it's bit by bit the path is being lit up, and that really comes back to kind of what we were saying at the beginning of the reading, with accepting that there's certain things you don't know until you do. So I love it when the end of a reading ties back into the beginning. So yeah, I kind of feel like we're a bit back where we started with this Hermit and these archetype cards. Yeah. Do you know what? I might just pull you one card to finish off with. I think I'm going to go for Believe in Your Own Magic deck, and then that will close the reading. And hopefully... Oh! God, cats, you do make these awkward sometimes. Right, 14. This is about working with other people. Weave together the crown you deserve. Okay. It's interesting, isn't it? Because we've got roses in this Five of Pentacles, which come out reversed for you, and there's a lot of roses in this as well. So, with it being about thorns, yeah, it's like you've kind of taken the good bits and used them to help you moving forward, you know? And actually, Like, recognise the good bits. A lot of red. A lot of red in this card. A lot of passion. Just like all the ones in the reading. Yeah. There's a message here about knowing that you do deserve it as well. In case this kind of reverse Ace of Cups, reverse King of Cups in your past ever led you to doubt that, just remember that you do deserve it. Alright, Sagittarius, I hope that was of interest to you. Remember, if it was, to like, share and subscribe and all that. Thank you very much. I'm going to leave it there.